All right, let's jump right in, shall we? We've had tons of requests to do a deep dive on ancient Egypt and, well, specifically on hieroglyphics. That intricate system of writing that used pictures and symbols to represent sounds, words, and even entire ideas. We've got some awesome research articles here all about how the ancient Egyptians developed this incredible writing system and how they used it to document pretty much every aspect of their lives, from their pharaohs and battles to their laws and daily rituals.
It's really amazing, isn't it, how these symbols carved in stone or written on papyrus have survived for thousands of years, giving us this incredible window into a civilization that, in many ways, feels both familiar and utterly alien.
It's like holding a piece of history in your hands, right? Like you can almost hear the voices of the scribes who first wrote these words. But before we get too deep into that, I think it's important to clarify something. When most people think of hieroglyphs, they picture those iconic images of birds and snakes and other creatures. But from what I've gathered from these articles, it's way more complex than just matching pictures to sounds.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. The ancient Egyptians went way beyond just representing simple sounds with their hieroglyphs. They developed a system where a single hieroglyph could represent an entire concept, like justice, or eternity, or even chaos. It's mind-boggling how much information and meaning they could pack into one symbol.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty impressive. It sounds like it took a lot of creativity and ingenuity to come up with a system like that. It makes you wonder where they even got the inspiration for it.
Well, that's a question that's been debated by scholars for ages, but one theory is that they might have drawn some inspiration from another ancient writing system, cuneiform, which was developed by the Mesopotamians.
Oh, interesting. So even back then, there was a sort of cultural exchange happening between civilizations, ideas spreading across vast distances, influencing each other.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even in the ancient world, people weren't isolated. They were connected through trade, diplomacy, and even warfare, which brings us to another fascinating aspect of hieroglyphics, how they were used to document major historical events, especially those related to their pharaohs.
Right, like I can imagine an ancient Egyptian scribe meticulously recording every detail of the pharaoh's reign, their victories, their building projects, even their, let's say, more extravagant claims.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
And when it comes to extravagant claims, no pharaoh comes close to Ramses II. He was basically the master of self-promotion, using hieroglyphics to boast about his military achievements, his building projects, and, well, basically anything that made him look powerful and divine.
Yeah, Ramses II, the original influencer, right, building his brand for the ages. And speaking of his achievements, there's one battle in particular that really stands out, the Battle of Kadesh, fought against the Hittites in what's now modern-day Syria.
Oh yes, the Battle of Kadesh, a truly epic clash of civilizations. And thankfully for us, Ramses II made sure to document it in exquisite detail on the walls of the Abu Simbel temple.
Really? So
Yeah.
we have a first-hand account, well, at least from Ramses' perspective, of this massive battle.
Well, we have to take it with a grain of salt, of course.
Cool.
Ramses was known to embellish his victories a bit. But even with some exaggeration, those inscriptions give us incredible insights into ancient Egyptian warfare. Their tactics, their weaponry, the sheer scale of these battles. It's all there, preserved in stone.
It's mind-blowing to think that we can learn so much about an event that happened over 3,000 years ago. Just from these carvings and inscriptions, it's like a time machine transporting us back to that moment.
It really is. And it's not just about battles and conquests, though. Hieroglyphs also reveal a lot about the ancient Egyptians' spiritual beliefs, particularly their fascination with the afterlife and their intricate rituals for preparing for it.
Yeah, that's something that always fascinated me about ancient Egypt. Their elaborate tombs, the mummies, the whole idea of preserving the body for eternity.
It speaks to a universal human desire, doesn't it?
Okay.
The longing for immortality, the hope that death is not the end. And we see this reflected in their art, their architecture, and of course in their writings.
Absolutely, and I think that's what makes studying hieroglyphics so captivating. It's not just about deciphering a language, it's about connecting with the hearts and minds of people who lived thousands of years ago, understanding their hopes, their fears, their dreams. It's like a conversation across time.
You put it perfectly. It's a privilege to be able to access those voices from the past and let them speak to us through their writing.
Speaking of accessing those voices, there's one discovery that really stands out as a turning point in our understanding of hieroglyphics, the Rosetta Stone, that famous slab of black granite that was discovered in 1799.
Ah, the Rosetta Stone. It was a truly groundbreaking moment for Egyptology because it contained the same text written in three different scripts: hieroglyphics, Demotic script, which was a later form of Egyptian writing, and ancient Greek. Having that kind of parallel text was like finding the key to unlock the secrets of hieroglyphics.
Wow, so it was like having a built-in translation guide, right? It must have been incredibly exciting for the scholars who were trying to decipher these ancient symbols.
Oh, absolutely. It was a major breakthrough, allowing them to finally understand the meaning of these mysterious symbols.
And it opened up a whole new world of knowledge and understanding about ancient Egypt. But hieroglyphics weren't just reserved for grand monuments and royal pronouncements, right? From what I've seen in these articles, they were also used to document everyday life, legal matters, even personal correspondence.
That's right. In fact, some of the most fascinating insights into ancient Egyptian society come from documents like the Abydos Papyri, which are a collection of legal texts, contracts, and administrative records dating back to the Old Kingdom period.
So we can get a glimpse into what life was like for ordinary Egyptians, not just the pharaohs and the elite.
Exactly. We learn about their legal disputes, their business dealings, even their complaints about noisy neighbors. It's amazing how these documents make a civilization that existed thousands of years ago feel so much more real and relatable.
I can only imagine the headaches those ancient scribes must have had trying to keep track of all that paperwork. But seriously, it's incredible how these seemingly mundane documents can provide such rich insights into a culture. And it's all thanks to the dedicated work of countless scholars and researchers who have spent their lives studying these texts.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and our fascination with the past. And it's a field that's constantly evolving as new discoveries are made and new technologies are applied to the study of ancient Egypt.
It makes you realize how much we still have to learn and how much more there is to discover about this ancient civilization and how much their legacy continues to shape our world today.
Yeah, it really is a constantly evolving field, that's for sure.
So let's look back to those Abydos papyri for a minute. What kind of legal issues are we talking about here, and what can these texts tell us about the religious beliefs of everyday Egyptians?
Well, the papyri actually cover a pretty wide range of topics. We see everything from inheritance laws and property disputes to, believe it or not, contracts.
So basically, they were dealing with the same legal headaches we face today, huh?
It's amazing how some things never change, right?
Absolutely. What about their religious practices? What kind of insights do we get from these texts?
Well, the papyri contain a variety of religious texts, including hymns, prayers, and descriptions of rituals, which give us a fascinating glimpse into their beliefs about the gods and goddesses and the afterlife.
It really humanizes them, doesn't it? It's easy to think of ancient Egyptians as these distant, almost mythical figures. But these documents show that they were grappling with the same basic human concerns that we still face today.
Exactly. They were trying to make sense of the world around them, just like we are.
And speaking of making sense of the world, the papyri also shed some light on their administrative systems.
That's right. We learn about the roles of scribes and officials and even tax collectors.
Ah, yes, taxes. Another timeless aspect of human civilization. But it's fascinating to see how these systems worked in such an ancient society. And it's all thanks to the work of scholars like Ahmed Fakhri and so many others who have dedicated their lives to deciphering these ancient texts.
Absolutely. It's a painstaking process, but incredibly rewarding.
It must be like piecing together a giant puzzle, one hieroglyph at a time. But those pieces can reveal so much about a civilization that's been gone for thousands of years.
And it's not just about traditional research methods anymore. Modern technology is playing an increasingly important role in the field of Egyptology.
You mentioned radiography and carbon dating earlier, but what other technological advancements are being used to study ancient Egypt?
Well, one of the most exciting developments is the use of 3D scanning and imaging techniques. These technologies allow us to create incredibly detailed models of tombs and artifacts, giving us a virtual window into the past.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like bringing the past to life in a whole new way.
Exactly. We can examine these objects from every angle, zoom in on intricate details, and even virtually walk through ancient structures.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
And then there's the growing field of artificial intelligence. AI algorithms can now analyze vast amounts of data, helping researchers identify patterns and connections that might have been missed by the human eye.
So AI is being used to help decipher ancient texts and uncover new insights about ancient Egypt.
Absolutely. And it's proving to be incredibly valuable. It's helping us to understand complex social structures and even to predict the locations of undiscovered archaeological sites.
It's incredible how technology is being used to unlock the secrets of the past. It's like a collaboration between human ingenuity and cutting-edge science.
And it's a testament to our enduring fascination with ancient Egypt. and our desire to learn more about this civilization that continues to captivate our imaginations.
It's a reminder that even though the ancient Egyptians lived thousands of years ago, they were driven by the same basic human impulses that we still experience today. The desire to create, to innovate, to make sense of the world around us.
Exactly. And their legacy continues to inspire us in countless ways.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired right now. I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. But before we wrap things up, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've learned so far. And when we come back, we'll explore some of the broader implications of what we've uncovered about hieroglyphics and ancient Egypt. All right, welcome back to our deep dive. I think it's safe to say we've all learned a ton about hieroglyphics and the incredible civilization that created them.
We really have. From those incredible symbols themselves to the stories they tell about pharaohs and battles and everyday life. It's just amazing how much these ancient symbols reveal about a civilization that existed thousands of years ago.
It really is. And you know what's striking to me is how hieroglyphics have allowed us to connect with the ancient Egyptians on such a personal level. We're not just reading about historical events, we're getting a glimpse into their thoughts, their beliefs, their hopes, and their dreams.
Absolutely. It's like they're speaking to us directly across the centuries through their writing.
And what I find particularly fascinating is how their challenges and innovations, all documented through hieroglyphics, offer valuable insights for us today. I mean, think about it. They were dealing with issues like establishing legal systems, managing resources, even dealing with taxes, just like we do today.
It's true, and they came up with some pretty ingenious solutions. Their advancements in architecture, agriculture, and governance are still inspiring us today.
It makes you wonder what other secrets ancient civilizations might hold. I mean, we've made remarkable progress in deciphering hieroglyphics, but there are still so many ancient languages that remain a mystery.
Oh, absolutely. Just imagine what historical narratives we might uncover, what lost knowledge we might regain if we could only crack those codes.
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? To think that there's still so much more to discover about our collective human history.
And the journey of discovery is far from over,
Right.
even when it comes to hieroglyphics. New discoveries are being made all the time, and advancements in technology, like 3D scanning and AI analysis, are constantly reshaping our understanding of ancient Egypt.
It's incredible to think that we're still learning so much about this ancient civilization and that there are undoubtedly more surprises waiting to be uncovered.
Absolutely.
Well, for anyone listening who's feeling inspired to learn more, there are tons of great resources out there, from books and documentaries to online courses and museum exhibits.
You can even try your hand at deciphering some hieroglyphs yourself.
That's right. It's a fascinating and rewarding pursuit. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and never lose that thirst for knowledge. Because the more we learn about the past, the more we understand ourselves and the world around us. That's all the time we have for today. But we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about ancient Egypt and the incredible world of hieroglyphics. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into a new and exciting topic